Guys, we are officially a week out from the big day, the big one, Christmas.
I thought you meant World War II.
That day.
It is also the first day of Hanukkah, so happy Hanukkah to all of our Jewish listeners.
Yeah, Byron, happy Hanukkah, bro.
Yeah, Hanukkah rules. Anyway, I was doing a little Christmas shopping the other day. I don't know if you guys finished your Christmas shopping yet.
No,
of course not.
But I was at the Grove in beautiful West Hollywood, I guess. Is that where the Grove is technically? Between there and Beverly Hills? Yeah.
Yeah.
Down Melrose.
I don't even know.
I was in the farmers market, which is just a wonderful maze of food stands and mixed nuts and deli meats and it's international marketplace and lots of good foods and donuts and coffees and desserts and
donuts
and probably lots of COVID. And
COVID
a little bit.
So I went into there's like a little inside the farmers market. There's a little international market, and I went in there, and I was looking at some chocolate, and I saw one that caught my eye, and it's literally named duck shit chocolate, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna take
delicious.
Oh,
and I sent a little picture of this to you guys in our chat here, and it is not what you think because I thought duck shit chocolate was actually like made of duck shit, and I was like, well, is that a delicacy somewhere?
My dog got a disease from eating duck shit at the lake, actually, or maybe it was goose shit, one of the two.
So it's actually called duck shit Dankong. It's a tea chocolate, so it is not actually duck shit. The name is Yashi Xiang, which literally translates to duck shit. And it's a Daikong tea cultivated in the Phoenix Mountain of Guangdong province. And it has a really funny backstory. So according to this description, the story goes that the farmer, in an attempt to hide the secret to his delicious tea, gave it an unpleasant name and it stuck. So this guy made like the best ass tea, and he's like, you know what? I don't want anyone to know that it's really good, so I'm going to call it something terrible. And he called it duck shit.
And somehow it took off.
And they have chocolate now.
Yeah, it's the International Chocolate Awards 2019 Silver Award winner. It is, according to the tasting notes, floral fragrance layered with notes of longan and malt. So,
I don't even know what the fuck that means, Zach.
I don't know. It has cacao, cane sugar, cocoa butter, milk powder, tea leaves. So there you go. I don't know, guys. If you were going to make a delicious like chocolate bar, but you didn't want anyone to know about it, and you're going to give it a really awful name so people wouldn't try it, what would you name it?
I'm just imagining the duck from Kung Fu Panda just serving this with a smile on his face.
I mean, I think he named the tea duck shit, and they just made chocolate out of the tea.
Well, how does the chocolate taste, Zach?
It tastes like a floral fragrance layered with notes of longan and malt. I don't know what longan is, so
I don't know what longan is.
That doesn't sound like your personal description. It sounds like you're reading a description.
I am reading a description. Longan, commonly known as the longan in dragon's eye, is a tropical tree species that produces edible fruit. I guess it's the lychee, similar to lychee or something.
I need your personal review, Zach. I need you to describe it.
Yeah, I need you to eat it.
I did buy some chocolate for my parents for the holidays, but I did not buy that one.
Well, you know what? I'm longing for this show to start.
Can you tell this is our Christmas episode, everybody?
Ho, 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 everybody.
Welcome to another miserable podcast, Horror Decomposed. My name is Zach. With me today, The Graduate. I think that moniker has expired at this point, but the Criterion Kid, Kris Pistol.
The sick one. You'll have to make a new moniker for me because I got a full-time job.
Woo!
Congrats,
what are you doing?
I'm gonna be working at a production company, editing and shooting content.
That's awesome, dude. I'm really excited for you, man.
Congratulations, dude. Fuck the Apple Store. You can cut that if you want, but...
No comment.
Also with us today, the one and only Professor Casey.
Hi, hey everybody. Man, have you been to Spencer's Gifts and looked at their ugly Christmas sweaters? Man,
Like a month ago.
yeah, dude. I saw this snowman. It said snowballs deep. These are like, how do malls allow this, man? How do
Haven't been
malls
in a
allow this?
Spencer's Gifts since like high school.
Oh,
It had
Chris, you're missing out.
these Christmas sweaters had language like the movie we watched this week.
You know, that reminds me, my work has ugly sweater, like Christmas sweater Tuesdays, mainly for like our Zoom meetings, and I still need to get one. I
Oh,
have missed the
dude.
first two. It's my last chance to do this, and I have not gotten one yet. I just forgot about it over the weekend. So
Mine was pretty sick, and then no one else wore them to work. Or anyone in the whole building, no one wore them. So I was just the one asshole.
I feel like at this point, like I've already gone to 4 holiday parties, and I didn't wear a Christmas sweater to any of them. I missed the boat on all of that. So I'm like, am I going to get one now just for, I don't know, Christmas Eve and Christmas, like,
Yeah, I'm
or next
definitely
year, I
wearing
guess?
that. I'm wearing it to my cousin's house for sure. I mean, I described it last week. Santa riding a T-Rex that's breathing fire.
That's cool.
I used to
Yeah,
favor the ugly Christmas tie over the Christmas sweater. It's a
Oh,
little bit more subtle, and you stand out a little bit more.
it's
Had a
only
nice snowman tie.
or the Rudolph one is always great with the big light up nose. Yes.
I was gonna get this sick Beatles one I saw in Just Geek, and then I realized Just Geek is in the UK, and that shipping wasn't. I was gonna get it until like after Christmas, so I was like, that misses the point entirely.
And $47 to ship a tie. Yeah, good
No,
times.
it was a sweater. It was a sweater, but like still,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, gotcha.
But yeah. Thank you for joining us, guys. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season. This is going to come out probably on like Christmas Eve. So,
Yeah, so if you're like traveling or something, let us join you.
yeah, if you're
Man,
on,
that guy next to you on the plane smells like an armpit, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
Or you're like me and you listen to podcasts when you're just trying to get out of the house and you need to take a walk somewhere to get some peace and quiet.
Or me whenever I drive on my numerous commutes to get anywhere. But you know what? I'm off work for 2 weeks, so no more. I say as I'm about to drive 3 hours to see my girlfriend, but yeah.
I still got a few days of work. Chris, are you off for like the whole holiday break now? Because you just started.
No, I'm off I'm off a good chunk. I think I'm off the 23rd through the 27th.
Nice.
It's a good little chunk.
I am off from now until the 3rd, and I need it because I was losing my mind.
I'm off Christmas Eve through like the first.
Yeah, a lot of schools aren't letting kids out until the 22nd. That's kind of messed up, man. But maybe they get a little bit more in January than we used to.
Yeah, my wife too. Not off till the 22nd.
See, for
Criminal.
me, growing up, it sucked because my birthday's on January 8th, and that was always like the day we would go back to school.
Oh, shit.
It was such a bummer. I would just miss
Yeah.
the cutoff.
How
I'd be like, gosh,
depressing.
dang it. Welcome back, Zach. Happy birthday. Here's some homework for you. But
We got to do some cool Christmas stuff already, though. We got
we
to.
did.
Yeah.
We did.
So
It's been a busy holiday season for me. And
got to
I'm
go to
sure
the
all of you.
Chatsworth Christmas parade. Woo!
Yeah, it was sadly horseless this year, except for one.
You know what? Screw horses. They had 2 velociraptors
They did. Chris, we
and a
went to
Grinch that was fighting karate.
local city holiday parade had 2 raptors roaming around with like Jurassic Park like trainers with them, or like
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Just-
from this place
just
called
like in the
Giant
Nativity.
Dinosaurs in the Valley, which does that kind of thing, I guess. And that was a highlight, and so was the martial arts float that had the Grinch punch a guy in the face. Pretty great.
He did.
Got to say, also, when you're in Chatsworth, you have to go to the Munch Box. It is the rules. And delicious chili dogs to start off our parade. So, you eat those and then the clock's ticking. So that parade being so succinct was very nice, because it could have been a gastrointestinal ordeal if it was a long parade, but it wasn't. It was only like 45 minutes. But Zach and I did something even more cooler, and something that actually relates to this show the day before.
We did. We went to Reign of Terror's Ho Ho Horror. haunted house attraction. So if you guys were listening to was it on our Halloween special or earlier this year, we went to Reign of Terror Haunted House.
It was one of the October episodes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in Thousand Oaks. And they have a little 2-day holiday edition. And so we decided to check it out because we had such a great time in October. And it was raining like heck the day we went.
I felt bad for their business.
Yeah, they had like giant tents out. And fortunately, they managed to like move the lines under a tent or another like awning. So no one got wet in that regard. But it was pouring heavily. The maze is inside, so that wasn't an issue there. It was just kind of, probably ruined any, like, I'm sure they had scare actors that were going to be outside the maze for this event, and they just had to cancel that, I'm sure.
I'm so confused because it does not rain in Los Angeles, so how is this possible?
It did for a little bit.
Oh my God, it was raining so bad that they had to keep pushing on the tent to dump water out so that it wouldn't collect on the
I just imagine everyone just running around and screaming, "Water is falling from the sky!"
I'm surprised that they didn't have a monster doing that, but it would be very terrible for their health probably. But going inside, so every great, awesome, wonderful thing that we talked about in the original review for Rot 100% applies here because it was the same haunt, but with Christmas touches throughout, and there were some really fun ones in there.
Yeah, honestly, it was fun to go through a second time so close to the first one because I felt like I was able to appreciate the details of the maze a little more. I mean, the first time I didn't know what to expect at all. So going in a second time,
motherfucker's gonna jump out there. Don't want to get too close to that. Don't want to get too close to that. Yeah.
So I was definitely able to soak up the ambiance a little bit more. I still got some good scares in there. And I do think the holiday like set dressing kind of helped tie in all the themes together a little bit more. Whereas before, I wouldn't say it felt disjointed, but they are kind of, some of the themes blend together, but it's kind of harder to differentiate, sections. And in this way, I just felt like they tied it together in a nice way with the holiday theming. And you had kind of, a section with snowmen and like some snow drifting down. And then you had, there was still the circus area, but they tried to tie it in with some holiday themes. You had like a creepy doll section. I felt like they added some scares, or maybe ones that we missed last time. There was a great scare where a girl was in a fridge and jumped out of us and got us really good.
That Punky Brewster episode.
Yeah,
man.
They definitely did a really good job adding like Santa decor and costumes throughout it, and it didn't feel like tacked on. It really felt like they integrated it into the maze.
There was a very specific Christmas area where they told us to beware of Jack Frost that had these great killer snowmen. They were all static. They weren't costumes, which I was a little sad for. But how much money are you going to put into a 2-day event and get like animatronics and stuff like that? Yeah. There were some eerily realistic frozen children in that scene that were pretty great. And of course, my dog starts barking because he's an asshole.
There's a great the church scene had like a bunch of like fake sort of Santas or like people in Santa costumes sitting in like the pews, and that was really eerie.
We got screamed at to repent. There was a scene with a Mrs. Claus with a human skin mask playing around with Santa's severed head and just kind of juggling it around a little bit, and scared the crap out of Byron. He sweared in front of Mrs. Claus. You don't swear in front of Mrs. Claus, dude. Come on.
And the scare actors were definitely going for it. There was a funny prison guard guy that called me Buttercup and was just saying how much he hated Christmas.
Oh yeah, that guy was great. He's like leading us into a zombie outbreak, which is always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's some choke points where you get to interact with the actors. And I gotta say, we got an even better version of what was my favorite effect in the whole thing that we talked about last time, where they blow you up in the abandoned mine. Because this time we didn't just see it, we were right in the middle of it, and we got to notice that the floor drops out. The floor drops out from underneath you.
Yeah, it's a really cool effect. And they did have a giant Krampus figure at the end of the maze, which was great.
Oh yeah, he looked awesome.
Krampus.
Again, a static figure, unfortunately, but still really cool.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a misdirect for you to get chased by a Chainsaw Man anyway, so that's always good. But,
yeah, it was honestly, I'm really intrigued to see how I know they like change up the layout every year and they have like a kind of halfway to Halloween thing in like April or May. So I'm curious to see if I go to that, what they change up for the coming season. But it was awesome. Really, really can't recommend Rain of Terror enough. If you've never been, it's a really fun haunt experience. It's so cool to go through a maze of that length. It's like 25 minutes long. We went through this a little quicker this time. I think we were in there like 20 minutes, maybe 19, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we got stopped less time during the crowd breaks.
Well, you've convinced me. I'm going.
All right.
It's
All right,
amazing.
Chris, come on out.
It's amazing. Come on
really
out.
Great.
No, like seriously, anyone that's listening that even thinks they're going to be near the Thousand Oaks area at any time that this event's going on, you will not regret it.
So yeah, make sure to follow them on Instagram. They do have like a halfway to Halloween event, and that's in like April or May. So stay tuned for that.
Which I'm down for that if I'm in town. Yeah.
Gentlemen, we do have a movie to talk about today. So I know we don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it.
We could have watched Violent Night. I did watch Violent Night.
I want to watch Violent Night. It hasn't not gotten to it yet.
It's a little bit better than this movie.
Yes. Unfortunately, for all the listeners and ourselves, we watched Avatar 2. And, well, we all hated it.
No, that was not Avatar 2, but let's get to it. This is our feature scare. Okay.
This movie's probably a quarter the length of Avatar 2.
Thank God. Thank God this was short. My God. It was already padded to shit. Oh.
So our feature scare today, if you haven't guessed yet, because it might be mentioned in the title, I don't know, is Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Can I like read what I put on Letterboxd and then just like end the episode?
You can read what you read on Letterboxd. I'm not going to end the episode.
Okay. People stand around and say fuck a lot for about an hour, and then eventually something lackluster happens. The end.
Fairly
accurate.
They
don't just stand around. They walk around.
Oh, yeah. They walk a little bit through town. Sometimes they sit and drink. Yeah.
Chris, how did you feel about Christmas, Bloody Christmas?
So can we talk about the fact that 2 years ago I wrote a script about a killer VCR TV that attacks
I read
two
it.
people.
It's good.
It attacks two people who are working late one night on Halloween at a video rental store, and I was watching this movie. And the first setup, I know what it's about. In the first 20 minutes, I'm like, God damn, this is too close to what I wrote. At least in concept.
Oh, yeah. I still think you could get away with what you wrote. I mean, yours is more interesting than this.
Mine definitely had more of an "Are you afraid of the dark?" feel to it, but also more importantly, it was a short. It was only like,
and your characters are likable.
I felt like this was a short, and the director just said ad lib for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and never hit cut.
Yeah, I feel bad because like this is a very like small independent film. And it's clearly made by people who are horror fans, and are doing this on like no budget, 16 millimeter. I applaud your efforts. But yeah, it definitely, I know what it's like when you just let your actors improv for long stretches of time. They start to yell at each other because they're just trying to talk over one another, and they're trying to like they're trying to get the attention essentially drawn to them. So that's really what this felt like. It felt like two actors just trying to like outdo each other by yelling at each other for long stretches of time.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like in that sense, the dialogue felt very authentic, having been to a bunch of holiday parties recently, and that's how a lot of people talk to each other, trying to get in like edgewise into a conversation. But
doesn't mean we want to watch it.
No, you don't want to watch that. You need to let your scenes breathe. So this is written and directed by Joe Bagos. He's mainly known for VFW and Bliss, young guy. I haven't seen VFW yet. I've heard good things. I haven't seen Bliss yet either. Jeff Daniel Phillips is in this, has a part in this. He was just in The Munsters.
He's part of the reason I feel like this movie's what happens when people think Rob Zombie's a good filmmaker and then get to make their own movies. Yeah.
Sort of like somewhere between like Rob Zombie and Kevin Smith, maybe.
Yeah, but not in a good way. Like,
No.
Yeah, I was getting Chasing Amy's vibes in
I was
that I
getting
just wanted
Yoga
people to shut up for
Hosers.
5 minutes.
I was getting Yoga Hosers and Jay and Silent Bob reboot vibes because I absolutely hated both those movies. Still haven't seen Clerks 3 yet. Not sure I want to do that.
So I will just share this note that's on the Wikipedia for Christmas Bloody Christmas, and that is that Jeff Bezos came up with the idea for Christmas Bloody Christmas while pitching a remake of 1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night, suggesting that the murders could be perpetrated by a Terminator-esque android. The pitch was rejected for straying too far from the original film. However, Bezos continued developing the idea and wrote the movie script during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, okay.
I mean, it's not the first thing with a fucking Terminator Santa. I mean, there's like Terminator Santa action figures already. Like,
Yeah.
it's been done. It's all because of that Simpsons episode with John Waters.
The robot Santa from the Keenan and Kel Christmas episode was scarier.
Yes.
Yeah, I have issues with this robot. Mainly, he doesn't look like a robot. So we can get more into that. I will say the movie starts off kind of strange. It starts off with commercials, a series of commercials, and
a series of commercials in a very bad aspect ratio.
yeah, like that was odd. And while these commercials were playing, I was like, man, they really should have hired Chris LaMartina for this. 'Cause
Yeah.
he would have made that shit look good.
I'm like, is this trying to be WNUF or is this
Yeah.
trying to be RoboCop? Because remember, RoboCop starts with commercials. You know,
They were just very odd commercials that didn't feel authentic at all and made it feel very like extra low budget. And they cut to an ad for this super like AI robot Santa like a really odd ad that the military has this technology and now it's in a mall Santa for some reason.
Yeah.
And you see this guy that's clearly just someone in a suit pretending to be a robot. And here's the thing. They say this robot has 90,000 word vocabulary. This robot doesn't say shit in this movie.
Never
Not one
once.
thing. Not one thing. You advertise 90,000 words. He doesn't talk during the entire movie. What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, it really needed like some like catchphrases.
You know how much
in there.
better this movie would have been if that robot was talking the whole time and
Yeah,
had some like, hilarious
exactly.
catchphrases?
Meanwhile, I think there's a couple scenes in this that were 90,000 words long.
They gave all the words to the actors.
Yeah.
And the robot, like, come on. Like, they really needed to take a few more cues from Shopping Mall, like, a lot. Including having part of this movie take place in a mall because they advertised this, find the Santa at the Midland Mall, and also this toy store. But the Midland Mall. And they cut to the movie, and when we come across this Santa, he's just at this random toy store in a little like shopping district, and I'm like, why didn't we see him in a mall? It should have been like a Santa that gets like annoyed by some kid and then goes on a rampage or something.
They couldn't
like
afford him.
like Carousel.
budget.
Yeah.
Yeah, this felt like no budget movie. Like it looks like they're filming in like a small town at like 3 a.m. in every scene with like, 2 to 4 people tops. Yeah, but yeah, that would have been great because then you could have had like a confrontation with the mall Santa with this robot Santa.
So good.
Dude, I think we're expecting a lot because, okay, first of all, we want to put out there, if anyone new is listening to this episode, we're not like people that normally hate movies like this. Carousel was the shit, and I bet it cost half the price this movie did, but it had better writing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they were going for a Terminator thing, but they just like the T-1000, like Arnold in the first one, has personality. He says things.
He's not the T-1000. Jesus, Zach.
Whatever.
He's not the T-1000. T-1000 is Robert Patrick.
Okay, what is the original one?
It's T-800, bro. Come on.
T-100.
Okay,
800.
edit that part out.
No, you leave that shit in.
Nintendo 64. Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So they wanted to make this Santa robot like the T-800, like, very stoic robot, and he doesn't say anything. And it's just, we open this movie. Our lead is a, late 20s something. She owns a record store, cool setting.
I was kind of confused about that. I was like, because there's like VHS tapes everywhere. And I was like, is this just like a nostalgia? First, I was like, wait, is this a period piece? And then I was like, wait, no, is this a nostalgia store? What the hell is this? But I guess it's just a record store that has a shit ton of VHS everywhere.
I mean, that's cool with me.
Amoeba was like,
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So anyway, she either owns the store or she's the manager. I'm not sure, one of the two.
But it's also so dark, I could hardly tell what was happening.
She threatens to talk to the guy, to HR about the guy, though.
Yeah, so this whole movie is lit in like neon, like red, blue lighting.
CGI.
I like the neon look.
Yeah.
Like all the Christmas lights at this movie look really good. It's shot on 16 millimeters, so it has like a really grainy,
very gritty,
feel to it, which, you know, all the color lights like really have like this glow to them that looks really awesome. But it's too damn dark. Like,
certainly like kind of Christmas Evil, Silent Night, Deadly Night vibe. But so she's closing down the store, and it's just her and one of her employees, and they're having kind of vaguely flirtatious banter, but she's just telling him how she's never gonna, you know, nothing's gonna happen between them. She's talking about her plans. It's Christmas Eve. She wants to get laid. You know, it's just endless, really boring dialogue that does nothing to endear you to the characters. Yeah, it's like,
she's a cool badass chick who is like always drunk and does drugs and wants to get fucked tonight and blah blah blah.
Look, there's nothing wrong. Like, if that's your Christmas Eve plans, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. But like,
it's just so over the top.
It's just like, we learn nothing about them as characters, and the main problem is most of their conversation are just like arguments. It's like, oh, you must be like a Sammy Hagar Van Halen fan. No, it's just stupid.
I've stopped listening to podcasts because they sounded like the characters in this movie.
It's just like Kevin Smithy like dialogue with less humor, and it's just, you know, filled with like expletives and endless fucks. And it's just like, okay.
Yeah, that's another thing. When you just let your actors go, they're gonna say fuck way too much. Like, it's gonna be unnatural.
It makes me really want to see what the script was for this movie, because I just want to know like where the scene ended and where he just let it continue.
Yeah. I'd love to read all 10 pages of the script for this movie.
Probably a lot in quotations, and they talk about
and
stuff.
The whole
they argue.
description of the last scene is, let's reshoot Terminator, but not have a trash compactor. Yeah.
The opening 30 minutes of this movie are just very long and drawn out scenes. They close the store. They go to her friend who owns a toy store.
You're being really generous with the number 30 here.
Yeah.
Because this movie's about 80 minutes long, and I would say 50, not 30. But at least people start dying after 30.
Yeah, so they go to the toy store. You see this Santa robot, and they're just standing there. There is no like inciting incident in this movie that triggers a Santa. He just, like, you see a little blurb on the news about, oh, there's a recall for some reason. Like, not much of an explanation is given. There's nothing that triggers this Santa to go on a rampage. He's just there.
I feel like it was added in post because originally them fucking in the store was supposed to trigger the Santa, like Jason.
Why?
Why does it work with Jason? It just does.
Yeah, not to like brag about my own script again, but I definitely had like an inciting incident that happened in my script.
Yeah,
where I think lightning strikes the VCR TV. It's just the most, you know, like basic thing to happen, but it's something.
There's like
something happens.
If there is an inciting incident, it's so subtle that it's barely noticeable. There is some like line of dialogue that gets the robot's attention, and you like cut to his like POV, and you see him like turn towards something, but it's like nothing. It feels like so minor that it shouldn't be an inciting incident to, like, you know.
And there should obviously be like a stinger at the end of this movie where you like find out that like there's, you know, hundreds of these other Santas out there, you know, like leading into, like, that's how the movie ends, you know, with like a button,
you know,
and it doesn't do it.
You know what I think the problem is that it's ripping off the Child's Play remake also.
Yeah, but not as good as that.
No. It's not as good as anything it's ripping off here.
Nothing was done for Tupac.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could see how if this was originally like a Silent Night, Deadly Night pitch, like this robot could have easily been like saying naughty or something as he goes to kill this couple that's screwing in the toy store or something like that. You know, they just like really should have given this robot more of a personality and made him look more like a robot, not like a guy in a suit that's just walking really stiff. So they incorporate some POV shots that look kind of okay. Like they don't really, they're not suspenseful. Like I've seen, stalker POV stuff is a tried and true like
feel
trope in a
like
lot of
they wanted to
horror movies these days, but
like there was supposed to be Terminator shit over those, and they just didn't put it in. That's how I felt it was. Like
they kind of make you think like that he's going for our lead characters, and then it turns out he's across the street at another house.
And we see that same fake out 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there is something this movie does well, there are some great practical effects. The kills are crunchy.
Where?
I mean, like, okay, it's in like the spook. It reminded me a lot of Spookies, like, because you get a lot of like pickaxe to the head and deflating faces.
I liked the axe to the one guy who got the axe to the face.
Yeah, it's like it felt like an airbag being punctured, like a dummy. Like it.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like the Spookies death with the guy that gets bit by like the spider and he just deflates. Yeah, that's sort of what a lot of the kills in this movie reminded me of. But, you just don't meet anybody. She goes to her sister's apartment, the lead character at one point with this employee, after they've gone to a bar and continue just their drunken banter. And she's going to her sister. You don't meet her sister at all. Like, you're just like told, oh, this is her sister. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I was totally surprised when she went into the room and there's just like 2 people asleep in the bed. I'm like, how the fuck did they not wake up when they were shouting earlier?
I'm going to give a minor spoiler here. Minor spoiler. Her sister dies 5 minutes later. I don't even think you learn her name. Like, maybe you do. I don't remember what it was. And she barely sheds a tear for that, I think. It's... This movie...
Very disposable. You get the really lame cop characters who don't look like cops.
Yeah.
They look like friends of the director.
Yeah, this looks like every person that hangs out at Amoeba put in a movie. None of them look like police officers.
I liked the first police officer, and then
fucking Herman. You liked Herman because he's a real actor.
No, the first one that's on the scene that like
the guy who he actually looks like a cop.
The one with the shotgun that was actually doing some damage.
Oh, okay, yeah. You mean the guy that pulls up in the car? Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
He was good. The other two were ridiculous. I mean, Jeff Daniel Phillips was fine, but like. It's this movie. So, like, we get to the climax. Let's just get to, like, the last... Kris is showing up a book that says, meet me in the bathroom. I feel like that probably happened a lot during...
Not supposed to tell, Zach. That was code.
That'd be hard to do, Kris. You're in Arkansas.
The bathroom's outside.
I can wait.
So... the climax of this movie is pretty much just between our main heroine and this robot, and it's a very prolonged final fight, which is fun, but there are like 5 false finishes here.
It's the exact fight from Terminator 1, except they don't have a trash compactor down to the crawling. Except she gets messed up a little more than Sarah did. Sarah's was emotional damage.
And a lot of VHS tapes just like fly off the shelf and fall on the floor and presumably break. And I was more concerned about them than I was our main character.
That was like a copy of Tale of the Quad Dead Zone or something that's worth like hundreds of dollars. Oof.
I know.
Yeah, well, it's also just there's just no suspense to anything because you're not invested in any of the characters. So you're just watching all this stuff happen. And you're like, well, it'd be great if I like cared about what was going on. Like,
yeah, you gotta like the characters before. See, here's the thing: you gotta like the characters, or you gotta like the killer, and we don't get either of those things. So even though we're rooting for the killer in this movie, I think we could all agree on that we were rooting for the Santa, more or less.
I was rooting for like some gremlins to take over the movie. Just destroy everything.
I told you guys we should have watched that Goldberg movie instead. Santa's Sleigh. Oh.
I might watch that tonight. We'll see.
I actually, dude, as much as we shit on Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 in the commentary, that was a better movie than this.
Yeah, there's plenty of better. Watch Christmas Evil. I just watched that the other day. A really great kind of
Christmas Evil is
like really haunting, like
best
Christmas
ending
slasher. Yeah,
best ending of all Christmas movies.
The lead actor is really terrifying and really fun holiday movie. Back to the end of this movie. So, yeah, it's just a lot of. I will say the one thing about it, the robot looks cool in the end of the movie. He gets like a lot of damage, so you see like gears coming out of his face, and his like eyes are glowing, and
In an
he looks
attempt
cool
at
there.
He actually looks like a robot.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, it's an attempt at an endoskeleton.
It looks decent. It looks decent. It reminded me of what was this? What was that like Hardware? Am I thinking like this horror movie, like B movie, straight to video?
By
didn't look
Cinematic
bad.
Masterpiece, yes, it's
Yeah.
Hardware.
Yeah.
I do. The one thing I did like about the design of the robot is how the wires in his back glow like Christmas lights. I thought that was kind of dope.
That was cool. Yeah.
But we needed more stuff like that throughout the movie.
Yeah. And really, I also think they made a mistake by dispatching one of the characters early on who should have been in throughout the whole movie. And they like if they'd actually, had a character arc between these two characters that are like the focus of the first 30, 40 minutes of the movie, and kind of led that arc throughout the entire movie, it would have been a lot more interesting than disposing of one of them early on. And then it just becomes a one-on-one battle. I just think they could have done more with that. But I don't think this is god awful. It could have been a lot better. And they're just
Where were the Christmas kills, Zach? Why does it always got to be an axe killing people? Come on.
He could have sharpened a candy cane or something, or taken some Christmas lights and done something. Or
Throw somebody in a vat of holly. That shit is pointy.
Shove mistletoe down someone's throat and poison them.
Throw someone down a chimney, throw a Christmas tree, whatever.
And then steal the line for Batman Returns. Mistletoe is deadly if you eat it.
I always falsely remember in Black Christmas someone stabbing somebody with like an icicle, but it's not. It's a big old unicorn head horn.
Off of the ceramic thing. Yeah.
But someone needs to stab somebody with an icicle. Just grab one of them icicles.
Jack Frost.
That actually might happen in Violent Night. Now that I think about it.
Oh wait,
that happens in something.
It happens in Jack Frost, I think, for sure. But or maybe Jack Frost 2, the tropical one.
So yeah, that was Christmas, Bloody Christmas. Really, no disrespect to the cast or anything. I think they weren't given a lot to work with. They had to improvise a lot, clearly, and it was certainly very believable. It just unfortunately didn't do a lot for their characters.
And someone decided
if this were a short, I'd be a lot kinder to it. Because it's like
someone
that was fun.
Edited this
fun little thing.
Chris, this was a 90-minute movie, dude. Like 15 minutes,
80-minute movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, and someone edited it that long. Where's the 14-minute cut? Where's the reverse Snyder cut of this? Is what I'm asking, Chris.
They could have made a Cabinet of Curiosities episode out of this if they cut out 20 minutes and made it better. But they easily could have turned into something
just
like
as an
that.
experiment. I kind of want to just write a 14-minute version of this now.
You should, dude. You should.
Even though I kind of already did.
You did,
just
yeah.
Made it in a video store.
You did. It's cooler.
Sent it at Halloween.
Yeah. And it's better.
Okay, it happened to Zach and I with our killer IKEA movie, right?
Yeah.
Then I read Horror Store.
I still need to read that. I'm gonna actually read that next. So.
It's actually a really good book.
I'm sure it's great. He's a good writer. Yeah. Anyway, final thoughts on Christmas, Bloody Christmas.
Dog shit. 1.5 stars. Thanks for making me watch this, dick face.
At least Violent Night had John Leguizamo in it.
I love John Leguizamo. Best Luigi the world could ask for.
He's doing a great Bill Burr impression in that movie.
You need to see the menu, Casey, if you like John Leguizamo. He's hilarious.
You need to see Spawn, Zach. How about that?
That's okay. Deal. I'll see
He's
Spawn.
the violator.
John Leguizamo does not get enough roles like Spawn anymore. That is for sure.
I know.
Chris, what was your rating?
I think I gave it 2.5. I was like, you know what? I watched this late at night, and I was on my phone through half of the thing, so I'm not bothered.
I want to thank this movie, actually, for making me realize how good Marvel Snap is. Great mobile game on the phone. Yes. Get Professor X on your team. He's great.
I appreciated the Blair Witch 2 reference.
I did too, but I'm one of those people that loves Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. I saw it in the theater. Absolutely loved it.
When the hell are we doing a commentary on that then?
Oh,
I'm down. I need to
shit.
watch Blair Witch
Yes.
2 again. I haven't seen it since like 15 years probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Look out for our next
Yeah,
commentary.
we need to
Blair
do
Witch
this.
2.
Yes.
I'm totally down for that. So I'm totally down. But
Same.
yeah, my rating was 2.5 stars as well. There were elements of it I enjoyed. It's certainly competently made. They needed to tighten the script up. I just think they had some miscues as we got into. So, but yeah, just plenty of great holiday horror movies to watch, as we've talked about on this show. Watch Krampus, watch Gremlins, watch Silent Night, Deadly Night, watch Christmas Evil. If you want to watch something really silly, watch Letters to Satan Claus, which I wanted to do a commentary on. A lot of fun.
Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
Watch Satan's Little Helper. Watch Die Hard. Come on, fuck.
Yeah, watch Die Hard. Watch Willow. Willow is great on Disney Plus. Watch the series. It's very good.
Not a nerd.
The action scenes are could be a little better. That's my only critique, honestly. Besides that, it's great. So watch Willow.
I have to say that my New Year's resolution for next year, horror wise, is hopefully to watch a lot of movies on Shudder so that it doesn't go away.
Yeah, want to send our best to everybody at Shudder, AMC, like everyone that was laid off during this horrible.
Yeah, unless you're the one that put Christmas Bloody Christmas on the service, then yeah. Yeah,
no, I really Shudder has been such a wonderful home to independent horror and so many wonderful directors, and just a great place to get exposure to their work. And it's going to be a real shame if something happens to it and it doesn't survive this. So
and as someone who went
sending
through
good vibes to Shudder and everyone over there.
Someone who went through the death of Chiller already, don't want to see that happen again, for sure. Because I fucking loved that channel. Shudder's got a lot of its good stuff now, actually. Also, Shudder has I know a lot of you started watching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies this year when they were all on HBO Max, and Nightmare on Elm Street 4 wasn't available. Well, let me tell you, Shudder right now has all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, including Part 4. Go watch it. Part 4 is great. Rennie Harlan, great director. He does some awesome shit in that movie that gets no credit because it's Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. Also, wonderful effects by Screaming Mad George in the cockroach transformation scene. We love you, George. Come to Monster Palooza again.
Yeah, this is our last episode of the year. If you haven't caught on by now, so we will be back with our our best of 2022 episode in January. We're going to take a little bit of a break after this. But 2022. It was a good year for horror movies. I feel like we've been saying that the last couple of years, but there was so much that came out. I was putting together the list of all the movies I want to watch before I do that episode, and I have like 12 to 15.
Yeah, well, prioritize. We're all going to the World's Fair. God damn it.
Okay.
Because that's definitely on my list. What do you think, Kris?
I just said nothing is as good as Midnight Mass, though. I'm gonna throw that
I do need to watch Midnight Mass. I do need to watch that, but it's going to be a very busy holiday break. Before I plug my social media, guys, I just wanted to ask you this question. So if you go on our Instagram, make sure to follow us on Instagram at AMP Horror, also on YouTube at AMP Horror. We're on Twitter, but honestly, that place is becoming
probably going to get banned in a week.
It's becoming so uninhabitable. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing anything over there, so please follow us on Instagram and YouTube. But I did a little video eating a submarine sandwich because Ike's Love and Sandwich is one of my favorite sandwich shops out here in Southern California.
Place rules.
They did an Ernest Saves Christmas sub sandwich, and Kris had the bright idea to have me document the entire thing. So I did that. So if you want to see that, make sure to look on our Instagram. It's Instagram exclusive. It's too long for Twitter, and it wouldn't work as a short on YouTube. So go to our Instagram. But I want to ask you boys, as I pose to everyone on Instagram, if you could turn a horror movie or a holiday horror movie into a submarine sandwich, what would you turn it into? What would be in the sandwich? What movie would you pick?
Oh, okay. Easy one.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, it would be Blood Rage. And
I knew you were going to say that.
it would be something that's not cranberry sauce. I don't know. Something else red. But
Beets?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It would be like I don't know. That's like the easy answer. Really, if I'm creating a sandwich, I want to create some sort of roast beef with horseradish and mozzarella sticks. Okay, this is like a heart attack about to happen, and it just seems like a bunch of shit thrown together. And you know what's a bunch of shit thrown together? Spookies. That is Spookies the sandwich. Boom.
What about you, Kris?
Oh God, I'm put on the spot here. I don't even know. I'm trying to think of like an excuse to have a meatball sub sandwich and tie it into some horror movie.
I mean, the Ernest Saves Christmas was a vegan meatball sandwich with pesto and pepper jack. It was great.
I think last time I had a sandwich at Ike's, I think it was like a Thanksgiving sandwich with like turkey and dressing and some cranberry stuff in there. So whatever movie you want to tie that to.
Okay.
Barbarian.
Yeah.
Comes with a nice glass of milk.
The ones I named in the video were I said Silent Night, Deadly Night because you could easily do like a naughty sub or like a garbage day sub just full of like really rich beer battered ingredients or something. And then I said Gremlins, and you just need to get like a really nice like green sauce, like a very like slimy green sauce or something.
Some kind of pesto.
Maybe like,
But you can only eat it after midnight.
yeah, maybe like a fried egg or something. Really play up the midnight kind of vibe or something. Yeah, you can only eat it after midnight. It's only served after they close. But again, make sure to follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, on YouTube at AMP Horror to stay updated. Kris, where can they find you?
You can find me at Twitter and Letterboxd at Kris Pistol, Kris with a K, Pistol with a E.
And Casey, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me on Letterboxd at Lucha Gringo and PSN. Twitter, I'll probably be banned by them because, Elon Musk just did a poll. Should I step down as the head of Twitter? And I voted yes, which is probably going to get my account deleted. So catch me on those other things.
I have to go vote in this poll now. I didn't know this was a thing.
You can follow me on Instagram, Letterboxd at Earth2Zach. I'm on Twitter, but don't follow me there. Follow me on Instagram or Letterboxd. And guys, just stay tuned. This is our last episode of the year. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We will be back in 2023.
Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. Not that bad of a year compared to the last two.
Happy Fablemans.
Happy Fablemans. I need to watch that too.
Oh, so good.
And I guess I should see Avatar 2. It's supposed to be cool. I just gotta. I don't know. I gotta. Between that and Babylon, we got like 2 3-hour movies coming to theaters pretty soon. So that's a lot.
The Fablemans ain't short either.
I want to find the person that's going to those back to back and sitting through both of them because they're out there
all day long.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Take care. Take it easy. Happy holidays. We'll see you in 2023.
It's over! Time to get shit-faced!